Now at 6, Connecticut's pizza community is slicing out support for California. I'm Angelo Bavaro, live in New Haven this morning with the details on those efforts to help people affected by those devastating wildfires.
Middletown could be the next city in Connecticut to roll out speed cameras. I'm Stephen Reels, and coming up, we'll see how these will work and where those cameras will be installed.
And we have learned more just in the past 20 or 30 minutes about a person shot and killed in Hartford overnight in the Frog Hollow neighborhood. We know that shooting happened just a few blocks from Trinity College.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
As you can see, a lot happening here early on a Monday morning, so thank you for getting your day started with us here on Fox 61. I'm Tim Lammers. Symphony Privet, who's been filling in for Erica Arias, is off right now. But Matt Scott's here with us as we've got to talk about the temperatures. I guess for once, for the ups, the downs, the wind, we're more or less right where we should be around this time of year, aren't we?
That's an easy way to start a Monday, right? Just kind of work your way into the week with not a lot to worry about weather-wise. There are a couple of things that we're going to be focusing on this week. Here's what you need to know before you go. It is a quiet start to the work week. We'll get you on a Monday with relatively no concerns. We have a few snowflakes to talk about for Tuesday and Wednesday. And in your 7-day, it's mostly seasonal, but what about the weekend? Is there a storm brewing? We'll talk about that coming up. Satellite radar pictures quiet across the land. See a couple of clouds eroding over the last couple of hours, and the wind fairly light out of the west-southwest. And there really isn't anything coming on the horizon anytime soon, which is certainly good news. Temperatures 25 degrees in Hartford, 33 is not bad on the shore of New Haven. Did you see those clouds that are kind of eroding north to south? A little warmer on the shoreline because of that. You can see we're in the 30s, whereas Willimantic has 12, Torrington has 17. Those clouds, very nice blanket overnight. I mentioned not much of a wind. Here's how you got to dress for the bus stop this morning. We're at 19 in Hartford, 27 in New Haven. Willimantic, come on, you got to do better than 4. Who signed up for 4? I don't know. Dress for the mid. There really isn't anybody over there. Mid-20s is what you got to dress for the wind chill today as we get a decent amount of sunshine and a few clouds. But overall, no weather issues to start the work week. Talk about those flakes for the midweek and see what else is on the horizon. That's coming up in a little bit. It's 6:02. If it's a Monday, Rachel Piscatelli is here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go with traffic. Good morning.
Good morning, Matt. It is a busy morning commute so far. We have several issues on the roads this morning. We have a vehicle fire over in New Britain. This just happening moments ago. So new at the top of the hour here on the westbound side of 84 out by exits 37 and 36. Again, because of a vehicle fire, we have delays building. Also, heads up for West Hartford travelers. 84 eastbound out by exits 43 and 44 closed this morning. This has been out here for several hours. Also, the exit 43 on ramp, that's closed this morning too. You will need to seek an alternative route. There's improvements to 91 northbound. Your drive out by 19 and 20. An earlier crash has cleared, so traffic now looks good at this hour. Tim.
Rachel, thank you. 6:03 on this Monday morning. It was a little under 2 hours ago that Hartford police first said a 20-year-old man was shot and killed in Hartford's Frog Hollow neighborhood. Officers said it happened on Broad Street near the corner of Madison Street. That's just a few blocks north of Trinity College. And as I said, we got an update about 20 or 30 minutes ago. Officers said they got calls about gunshots in that area just before 11 o'clock. But while they were investigating, they recently said they got an alert that a gunshot victim had been found a few blocks away to the east near Essex Street and Retreat Avenue. And that man was taken to the hospital where he died. Police have identified him as Johnny Rodriguez. Again, he was 20 years old, and no word yet if police have any suspected shooter. In New Haven, police said a man crashed his car and later died after he had been shot in the back. They said first responders found 35-year-old Cedric Goodwin in a rolled-over SUV Saturday afternoon. He had crashed in the area of Russell Street and Highview Lane. Now, medics noticed the bullet hole in his back as they were loading Goodwin into an ambulance. Police said they don't know who shot Goodwin, but they said he was targeted, so there's no danger to the public anymore this morning. In Los Angeles County, 90% of the Palisades fire is now contained. But as that threat diminishes, another threat has grown, the threat of mudslides in that same area, ironically, coming from the rain that hopefully has helped firefighters to fight the fire. Areas of the Pacific Coast Highway were closed due to mud flows in Topanga Canyon. Now, these are areas that were bone dry, and now the topsoil has been burned, so it just can't soak up much water.
We've suffered this terrible loss of thousands of homes, but thousands of homes did survive, and now they're under threat. So our focus right now is to help save the homes that we can.
Areas in and around Los Angeles are under a flood watch by the National Weather Service. That flood watch lasts through this afternoon. And help continues to pour in from around the country for those communities in Southern California. And that support is being served in many shapes, including pizza boxes. Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro is live outside Ozzy's of Beats in New Haven with more. What's going on there?
Hey, good morning, Tim. So the mission to help for Ozzy's, that is a personal one, because in addition to this location in New Haven, this pizzeria also has a location in North Hollywood, so about 3,000 miles away. Those teams are actually on the ground. They're donating pizzas to fire victims and first responders and helping to raise funds for those recovery efforts.
As areas in Southern California pick up the pieces.
Well, this is what's left of the home that I grew up in for 31 years.
Ozzy's of Beats is offering a piece of the pie.
When I started this company or whatever you want to call it, I always did this because I wanted to give back to people that didn't have this when I grew up with, the New Haven pizza community, and being able every Friday night to go to a Pepe's.
Owner Chris Wallace is an East Haven native who lives in Los Angeles. His pizzeria has locations in New Haven and North Hollywood, which is close to where wildfires have been burning.
Some of these families are young families that had nothing to begin with and had a house, and now it's gone. And I see these firefighters that are young, kids sometimes, 18, 19, 20, fighting these things.
Now Ozzy's is delivering some hope.
And we immediately are like, hey, sit down, whatever you need. Here's a drink. Here's pizza. This isn't just today. This is any day you need it for the indefinite amount of time.
The pizzeria has donated about 800 pizzas to fire victims and first responders.
It's the perfect food to bring people together.
Ozzy's is also teaming up with Slice Out Hunger to raise money for the national nonprofit's Emergency Relief Fund.
Over 100 pizzerias nationwide are participating in this campaign that you sell a Los Angeles-themed pizza for the month of January into February, and 15% of the proceeds from those pizzas go to this fund.
Before this all happened, we're business owners in general, bills, employees, life, taxes, insurance, all that. That all goes out the door with this. So it gives me perspective on what's really important, which is family, love, life, happiness, and being able to help.
A good reminder for all of us this morning. And if you want to support that mission here in Connecticut, you can do that simply by ordering one of those specialty pies from Ozzy's here in New Haven. On top of that, there are some other local pizzerias participating in this campaign. You can also donate directly to that Emergency Relief Fund for Slice Out Hunger. We have all the information. We'll have that posted on our website. That is fox61.com under the links page. We're live in New Haven. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61.
Angela, I'm glad you mentioned that second California location, because I went online to look up more about Ozzy's of Beats and saw that Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports had done a one-bite challenge at an Ozzy's of Beats, but it was in Glendale, California, which seemed odd. Now it makes sense. It's their second location. So thank you for that great news there. All right, moving on. 6:09, firefighters in Montville managed to stop a house fire from spreading Saturday night. Let's show you a video from the scene on Connecticut Boulevard just after 11 p.m. You can see the second story of the home had some bad damage, but again, crews were able to keep it contained to that floor. Everybody got out safely. No firefighters were hurt. Investigators haven't yet said how that fire started. Just a few hours earlier on Saturday evening in Hartford, a multifamily home on Martin Street caught fire. That forced 17 people out of their homes. When firefighters arrived, they found fire on the third floor, but were quickly able to put it out. Nobody was hurt there. 7 adults and 10 kids, though, now need a place to stay. The American Red Cross is working with the fire department to help those families. Now, while we don't know how those fires started over the weekend, the Red Cross said there are several things you can do to prepare just in case your home catches fire. The organization said you should install smoke detectors on every floor of your home and test them each month. Replace the batteries at least once a year or when they start chirping that low battery alert. I'm guessing a lot of you do that, but the American Red Cross said a lot of families don't come up with this next thing, a fire escape plan that you and your family practice twice a year. That includes making sure each person knows 2 different ways to get out. All right, in other news, speed cameras, it looks like, are coming to Middletown. As Fox 61's Stephen Reels reports, there's a meeting scheduled for today for people to discuss where they'll go.
Speed cameras. They've slowly become the solution several communities have sought across Connecticut to cut back on dangerous driving. We've seen discussions from Milford to Waterbury and Bristol, and soon in Middletown. City leaders are set to go over the details with the community at a public hearing on Monday, including how the cameras will work and where they're going to be placed. According to the minutes from the Middletown Public Safety Commission meeting, plans are already in the works to potentially install cameras at several locations, including Washington Street, South Main Street, and the school zone for Moody School on Country Club Road, all of which have seen some sort of traffic violation in the past. And if caught, a driver would need to pay upwards of $50 for their first violation and $75 for each violation after. There have been several other locations floated around for potential camera sites in Middletown, like on Saybrook and Randolph Road, but police say more data will be needed before those plans can move forward. Now, a big question for some is whether these cameras would be effective or not. Well, a study by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety claims when a similar program was put into place in Montgomery County, Maryland, the average speed actually went down 10% over the course of 7.5 years. But as for Monday, the Public Safety Commission meeting will start at 6:30 p.m. and people can join either in person at Middletown City Hall or online. And to do that, we'll have the information waiting for you at fox61.com. But for now, in the studio, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.